Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vracha Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vracha Jana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanachahari. Yamunatira Vanachahari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai. Shri Phalat Lakshmi Singhadev Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. All cloisters assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All cloisters assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All cloisters assembled devotees Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, Hare Krishna. Most important question is, how do we speak? Sprechen einige Englisch? Who doesn't speak German? You. You don't speak German? No, and Mataji? Perfect, German as well. So we have only Prabhuji here and Brian in the back. And wer versteht kein Englisch außer Kishorikund? Du auch nicht. Okay, haben wir jemanden, der übersetzen kann in irgendeine Richtung? Wo ist Sanjay Prabhu? Vielleicht, aber vielleicht übersetzen kann. Okay, bis dahin. We can mix. So, should we read Srimad Bhagavatam? Why do we read Srimad Bhagavatam? Warum lesen wir Srimad Bhagavatam? Huh? The source of supreme knowledge. Knowledge about what?
Why we are here.
The reason why we are here in this room. Yeah. Well, yeah, the source of supreme knowledge, but why we interested in that as devotees? It speaks about Krishna. Okay, so should we speak about Krishna? One way one can look at the Srimad Bhagavatam is also to communicate with Krishna. Eine Art auf das Srimad Bhagavatam zu betrachten ist auch zu denken, okay, ich kann durch das Srimad Bhagavatam mit Krishna kommunizieren. Oder was wäre noch eine Möglichkeit, mit Krishna zu kommunizieren? What another way to communicate with Krishna? How you communicate with Krishna? Not at all? Was? Prayers, Gebete. Very good. And he answers? Huh? And how does he answer? Wie antwortet er? Ja, das ist wie Mädchen die Sache sehen würden. Jungs würden sagen, na, da kann man ja viel rein interpretieren. Ne? Okay, wie antwortet er? How does Krishna answer? That's the definition out of the book, right? But how did you experience it? Wie hast du das gesehen, dass Krishna durch Guru, Sadhu und Shastra antwortet? Erscheint der Guru. Sadhu, so die Devotees. Oder? Ja. Die Devotees ist eigentlich unser direktester Weg, mit Krishna zu kommunizieren. Aber dafür brauchen wir was? Was brauchen wir dafür? Ganz wichtig. Zu wem? Ja, gute Beziehung und worauf basiert die gute Beziehung? On what basis is a good relationship with Krishna? Or with the devotees? There has to be Yeah, that's also the book answer. What has to be there? How I can listen to the devotees? Huh? Yeah, but I can interact also when I go to the Etika in Jandelsbrunn. I also can interact with them, but I'm still not really convinced if Krishna uses them as a module to speak to me. What has to be there? Very simple. Relationship and based on trust. Yeah, there has to be trust. I have to trust. Vertrauen in die Devotees. Beziehung und Vertrauen muss da sein, weil wie kann ich sonst glauben, dass Krishna durch die Devotees spricht? Genauso, wenn wir vertrauen wollen, dass Krishna durch das Bhagavatam zu uns spricht, was muss da sein? Vertrauen ins Bhagavatam. There has to be also trust in the Bhagavatam that Krishna gives answers or that he communicates with us through the Bhagavatam. And therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam class actually is so important. It's so important because it gives us the guideline for the day. Bhagavatam class ist deswegen so wichtig für Devotees, für Vaishnavas, weil das gibt uns, Krishna kommuniziert durch uns dadurch. Und das bedeutet, was für eine Stimmung wir in der Bhagavatam-Klasse sitzen. Wenn wir herkommen, um die Zeit zu überbrücken, bis es Frühstück gibt, ne? Oder weil es Munindra Gana gesagt hat, kommt Jungs zur Bhagavatam-Klasse, okay, ich komme dahin, weil Munindra es gesagt hat. Aber wenn wir herkommen mit der Einstellung, mal schauen, was Krishna heute zu mir sagt. Wie Krishna in der Bhagavatam-Klasse mit uns kommuniziert. Let's see how Krishna communicates with us through the Bhagavatam today. Then the Bhagavatam class is not just another tick, another prick in the wall, another tick on the list. Okay, I did Bhagavatam class, ich habe das heute gemacht, Bhagavatam Klasse. Dann wird es wirklich eine interaktive Sache, um wirklich zu hören, okay, was will Krishna mir heute erzählen? Und automatisch kommen auch Fragen. Was hat er erzählt? Der Typ, der dort sitzt, ne? Ich muss mal nachhaken. So, lieber Munindra, gibt es irgendwie eine Lösung? Wir können auch zweisprachig irgendwie weitermachen halt. Okay. So this somebody cannot do service because he has to still ask for service. Please, Radharani, give me service. Prabhu, can you help? No. Please, Radharani, give me service. Okay. So, dann fangen wir. Ich habe hier die englische Version. Du hast die deutsche Version dort. Prabhu, du bist Martin, oder? Markus. Markus und Marco? Markus. Und du bist Martin? Marco, sorry. So rum. Marco und Markus. Markus, magst du, die Kishori-Kund hat ein deutsches Buch, magst du bei ihr mit drin schauen oder müsst ihr zulesen? Okay. Wir fangen an mit Text 19. Tadaribhir na vyatate shi. Okay. Oh, there comes another English speaker. Tadaribhir na vyatate shili mukai. Tataribhirna vyatate shili mukai. Shede ridango ridayena datuyata. Shedera tango ridayena duyata. Svanam yata vakra jam durup dipir. We're a little bit rusty altogether this morning, or? Shvanam yata vakra tyayam. Shvanam yata vakra diyam duruk dibir. Diva nishamdapyati marmatadita. Okay. Tada ribirna vyatate shili mukai. Shede riting rititango ridayane duyata. Svanam yata yakra diyam duruk dibir. Diva nishamta payati mamata dita. Okay, please, you can try. Diva nishamta payati mamata dita. Bhagavatam versucht uns aufzuwecken hier. Somebody else? Will noch jemand versuchen? Da die Birna wird. Shede ridango ritayena duyata. Svayam yada vakratiyam turtibir. Divan nishamdapyati mamatatida. That was the best till now, including me. Somebody else? Okay. So I continue with English, Muninta. Okay. Tada. So, Aribihi, enemy, na, not, Vyatate, is hurt, Shili Mukai, by the arrows, Shete, rests, Adita, aggrieved, Anga, apart, Ritayena, by the heart, Duyata, grieving, Svanam, of relatives, Yata, as, Vakradiyam, deceitful, Durukdibihi, by harsh words, Divanisham, day and night, Dapyati, suffers, Mama Daditaha, one whose feelings are hurt. One whose feelings are hurt, yes. Okay, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Lord Shiva continued, if one is hurt by the arrows of an enemy, one is not as aggrieved as when cut by the unkind words of a relative. For such grief continues to rend one's heart day and night. Purport. Sati might have concluded that she would take the risk of going to her father's house. And even if her father spoke unkindly against her, she would be tolerant, as a son sometimes tolerates the reproaches of his parents. But Lord Shiva reminded her that she would not be able to tolerate such unkind words because natural psychology dictates that although one can suffer harm from an enemy and not mind so much because pain inflicted by an enemy is natural, when one is hurt by the strong words of a relative, one suffers the effects continually, day and night. And sometimes the injury becomes so intolerable that one commits suicide. Okay, so I was told to read 20 as well. Vyaktam tvam utkrishta gate prachape pade priyat machannam asi suprumet mata tadapimanam napitu prapatyate mat ashrayat kaparitapyate yata. The Sanskrit is so difficult, like this section is very tense. Okay, translation. My dear wife, white-complexioned wife, it is clear that of the many daughters of Daksha, you are the pet, yet you will not be honored at his house because of your being my wife. Rather, you will be sorry that you are connected with me. Purport. Lord Shiva put forward the argument that even if Sati proposed to go alone without her husband, still she would not be received well because she was his wife. There was every chance of a catastrophe, even if she wanted to go alone. Therefore, Lord Shiva indirectly requested her not to go to her father's house. Om Agnanati Mandasya Kinanan Shalakaya Chakshu Imidamyena Tasmai Shigrave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manopistam Stavidamyena Bhutale Swayam Rubagaramayam Dadati Swaparantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadada Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Shri Phalat Lakshmi Singh Bhagavan Ki Jai. So, the two verses again. Lord Shiva continued, if one is hurt by the arrows of an enemy, one is not as aggrieved as when cut by the unkind words of a relative, for such grief continues to rend one's heart day and night. My dear white-complexioned wife, it is clear that of the many daughters of Daksha, you are the pet. Yet you will not be honored at his house because of your being my wife. Rather, you will be sorry that you are connected with me. So Lord Shiva actually gives a warning. It's some sort of an instruction, but for husband it's very difficult to instruct the wife, naturally, right? So, but he gives warnings. He gives a warning here saying that if you go, and I think everybody has the experience, and we can also see how Srila Prabhupada brings it also in his purport on a very human level. We have the experience that if we fight with somebody, we naturally expect to get a blow, right? If we fight with somebody who is obviously our enemy, we are expecting that this person may harm us. Who had this experience? You're on work, you're in school, or wherever you are, there is somebody who obviously don't like you. And mostly, you're also not very comfortable with him. So you expect, when you see him, you expect already, okay, with what blow he comes out now, with what harsh words he will address me. Maybe, with other people, they kind of teasing me or whatever. So in yourself, you put already a defense. Maybe you put some words aside, what you may reply if there's an attack coming, or somehow you tell yourself, just whatever he says, don't take it personally, right? There's a member of our community, he changes his working place, and since this is clear, he made it public to his colleagues. They try to kind of push him down, give him a hard time, right? But his wife told him, when you stay clean, the dirt of the enemy will stick on you. So one is maybe prepared, and maybe one puts a defense mechanism, or maybe one tells himself, just don't listen. Whatever they say, don't listen, right? Because you know what is expected. But if you go in the assembly of people who love you, supposed to love you, and then unkind words or an attack is coming, this goes very deep. Because from the person who's supposed to love you, you expect nothing else than love. So we have here Sati, and Shiva points it out, obviously you are Daksha's pet. Pet means not, pet usually means like a animal what you cuddle and what you stroke or whatever, and you are the youngest daughter. And doing marriages, just came in the weekend from the marriage, and we can always see that the relationship between the mother and the son is very strong and special. In the same way, the relationship between the father and the daughter is very strong and special. So here we have Daksha having his youngest daughter, and in German we say das Nesthäkchen, oder? Die jüngste Tochter ist das Nesthäkchen. Die alle, those who everybody was petting, and everybody thought, okay, she's so cute, she's so wonderful, and the father has a special protecting hand over her. But then he was ordered to give her his pet, his youngest daughter, to Shiva. In marriage, there is one point in the ceremony, the daughter is giving over by the father. And sometimes this is very emotional, because the father realizes that he gives over his daughter. I remember one marriage, there was the bride, she was already 40-something. She had already kids, she was married for the second time, but this was her first vivaha yagya. And her father was an elderly, strong man, you don't want to mess with. And so when he came to the vivaha, to this marriage ceremony, and I asked him, please, now give over your daughter, he was crying. Although she was 40-something, had already relationships, had even kids, but it became so aware to him. He became so aware. He became so conscious about that he has to give over his daughter to another man. That's quite emotional for a man. So we can understand that Daksha, obviously he had to give his daughter in some sort of vivaha ceremony, in some kind of Vedic marriage. And he had to give his daughter, his most lovely daughter, to this Shiva. And now we heard before already many descriptions how Shiva was not, not a handsome fellow, right? He didn't come with suit and tight, nice smell, nice kempt hair with a nicely trimmed haircut, right? Shaved, and shake hands and say, can I have the hand of your daughter? No, Daksha was ordered by Brahma to give his daughter to Shiva. And we all know how Shiva, we have this romantic pictures, like Shiva very strong with matted hair, snakes around him, and Goranga. They say even a mala of skulls, a garland of skulls, Totenköpfe. It's quite intense. In fact, we know from the Mahabharata when the was it Satyabhama, the wife of Shantanu? Yeah, after Shantanu passed, she had to make sure that there's another heir of the throne, because her sons already passed on. They died already. So there were her three daughters-in-law, and she had to somehow or other make sure there is a heir for the throne. And then something came in her mind, oh, actually, I have another son. Who was this other son? Vyasadev. And Vyasadev, he told her, if you need me, you just think of me and I will appear. Because after all, Vedavyas is a very mystical person. So she thought of him to beget sons in her daughters. Yeah? And but he was in meditation. So he came as he was, very dirty, unkempt hair, very, when a yogi, sometimes you see in India, obviously they have intense eyes, right? And if you somebody like Vedavyas, who is, so long in meditation, and they open their eyes, they can burn things, right? And he came like this, and he approached these daughters one after another. Then one daughter, she was so scared, she closed her eyes. Therefore, his son became blind by the name Dhritarashtra. The next one, she thought, I cannot close my eyes because then my son is also blind, but she was kind of making sure that she doesn't vomit. So, and she felt a little sick. And when you're sick, then you become what? Pale. Yeah. So therefore her son, because he was very pale in complexion and always had some health issues, although he was a strong fighter, and he was known by the name Pandu. Yes, Pandu. From him the 5 Pandavas came. And then the next, there were only 2 daughters, because actually the third daughter, she went already a long time before in the forest, but this is another story. We don't go into this yet. But then they thought maybe another try, and she should go to the first daughter again, Ambika. And she said, no, I can't do this again. And she brought in her maidservant. And she understood that's a great saint. She was not afraid, she didn't close her eyes, and she got basically not only a son, but all benedictions to have a great devotee as a son. And this son was known by the name Vidura. Yeah. So we can see if somebody like this, like Shiva, walks into the room, says, I'm here, ready for marriage. Everybody was maybe a little bit, and especially Daksha thought, that's not right. I cannot give my daughter to this person. But he was ordered by actually his father, Brahma. So he had to do. But this stayed in his heart. Right? And if his daughter would have come back and would say, oh, I'm so frustrated with this husband, he's always meditating or whatever, then maybe he would be, no, it's fine, I protect you or whatever. But she was satisfied, she was happy because she was together with the greatest Vaishnava. So, and Daksha knew this is a special person. Although my brother, he doesn't look very, very well, but actually he's a great yogi, he's a great devotee. So therefore he was not very happy about this. And now the celebration is going on, and Sati naturally wanted to go because she saw all her aunties and all her sisters. They were going in decorated airplanes and in nice dresses. So she approached also Shiva to say, let's go there as a family celebration. But Shiva knew what will come up. And she thought of going alone, what actually is not recommended. It's not recommended that the daughter or the wife leaves the side of her husband, right? This was the whole calamity in the Ramayana, because by force Sita was taken away, and this became catastrophe. So here again, Sati was so attached to her family, what is quite normal, that she wanted to go alone. Maybe she hoped also to somehow or other can make up with her father, because after all she experienced the love what was there from the beginning of her father to her. And she maybe thought she can fix the relationship. But Shiva knew that Daksha's envy was so great that Daksha never will forgive Shiva of taking his daughter. And therefore, because she is related now to Shiva, as she is related to Daksha, Daksha will cut off this relationship by strong words. Daksha will make sure that this relationship is broken. Therefore, he will speak strong, harsh words. And Shiva knew that, because this is the nature of things. But Sati had the hope. So she thought she can fix it alone. So she went alone. And this, then Prabhupada says in the purport that the hurting words, the strong words of a relative, they can be so strong that one actually can think of committing suicide. If somebody in school or some friend or whatever speaking harsh words to you, you would never think, I punish this person with killing myself. That would be stupid. You two fighters come in the ring, fighting with each other. They expect to get punched in the nose, right? But you would not say, and before they come in the ring, what do? What do boxing people or wrestling people, whatever, when they come in the ring, what do? Really? Even on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the real Kshatriyas, what is the first thing what they do? Right? they insulting each other. They maybe, in one sense, it's true. There must be respect also. Like when the Pandavas, when Yudhishthira came on the battlefield, he shot arrows on the feet of Dronacharya and Bhishma and Kripacharya out of respect. This was showing. It was like touching the head to his feet. That was respect. But he didn't do this to Duryodhana. To Duryodhana, they spoke strong words. They insulted each other, right? So this is what fighters do. They're insulting each other with strong, harsh words sometimes. Very abusive, very aggressive language. Very insulting language. They're calling themselves all kind of name. We cannot say this in Bhagavatam class. And then they're expecting that they beat each other, and they're expecting to get hurt and punched. And one fighter would never say, okay, I finished this fight, I punishing you. My last punchline toward you is, I kill myself. Would not make sense, because the other person would just say, yeah, well, what a jerk. What a joke is that? He's killing himself in front of me. Right? That would be so stupid. But if a relative is speaking strong words to you, because the relationship is based on love, and I don't know if some of you had this experience that they say, I punish you by killing myself. Somebody had this experience? Maybe not. I don't know. But mostly people who kill themselves, they kill themselves out of a statement. It is a statement. It's not that they hate this body, therefore I have to, if you kill somebody, there is some very, very hard aggression or some enemy or whatever. You're thinking, I'm gonna kill this body because he did this and that to me. Nobody thinks, gonna kill this body because this body did this and that to me or whatever. No, it's always because of relationship. There's a relationship, and I try to punish somebody who I'm actually love. How many times, like in couples, if you leave me, I kill myself. The lady says, if you leave me, I kill myself. The husband maybe think, okay, whatever, But, that the intention is, I punish you. You will have to live with that guilt that you're responsible of my death. Right? So this only happens if the basis actually is love. And you want to cut off this love by this very strong statement of suicide. Therefore, as a devotee, especially not, and especially if you're Brahman initiated, you're forbidden to commit suicide. Because first of all, we know if somebody does such a horrible act, kills his own body, you're responsible of killing a Brahmana. If I would kill myself, because I'm Brahman initiated, I will have the result, I get the reactions of killing a Brahmana. Because this body doesn't belong to me. I actually have not the right to kill this body. It belongs to Krishna. And especially when I'm initiated as a servant of Krishna, as a dasa. That's my name. My name is Dasa. Right? So if I kill this dasa, I do harm to Krishna, and therefore I get punished by Krishna. And because I do such a horrible act, that means my karma is not ready to have another body. If I die by a natural death because of karma, That means karma is giving the soul over to another body, what is ready. But if I kill this body and the karma is not ready, I'm hanging in the air, and this means I'm a ghost. I'm a ghost. And for a long, long time, I have to suffer the reaction of killing a brahmana and being a ghost. Don't have another body. So don't even think of such things. That is not a solution. Suicide is not a solution for nobody, because you don't end anything. You start a whole new chapter, what is not auspicious. And you will regret. I know a friend, he's a devotee actually. He was, before he became a devotee, he was so fed up with life. He thought, I can't bear this anymore. I want to see what's on the other side. And he took his car without seat belt and drove full speed ahead against the wall. And what is in his, he survived, although his bones were broken and he still has scars on his head. The last thing what he thought when he crushed on the wall was, bad idea, bad idea, bad idea. Stupid idea. Right? So it's not a solution. But what's now there for us as a community? As we are in the community of Vaishnavas, especially when we live there for some while, we are initiated, we are recognized as as a community. We are entering a family. Especially going now back to this last wedding on this weekend before in Gologadam. You really feel that you come in the association of a family when you are in the association of devotees, because naturally, I mean, especially here in Europe, we're not such a big crowd. You know, India, whatever, you have many thousands of devotees, and Russia or whatever, some places, but especially Germany, we're just a handful. Same as Czech, or as I guess Switzerland is also not the majority of the population, or not devotees. So we're just a handful. We know each other, and being around for quite some time, you know each other, right? And it's like you coming in. You know, it's like a family event. You know, you meet your uncles, you meet your seniors, you know them since long time, and you meet them again. You know, they're asking how you're doing, and you tell them, well, you know, I made this, you know, I became this and that, whatever. You know, you report to them, because you know they know you since you maybe came as a bhakta in a temple, and you know people who you saw coming as a bhakta in a temple, and they advanced. You know, you amazed. Wow, you know, see how he became. You know, what became out of him. That's quite impressive, or something like that. And you know, this person got married to this person. He is now a brahmachari. Wow, I know, and he came, or whatever. You know, so many things. It's like a family gathering. And then on the day of the wedding, actually, the family of the groom came. And I welcomed them. As a priest, you have to welcome everybody. You know, I welcomed them. I said, welcome in our family. You know, they looked first because they thought they are the family. No, we were the family, right? So we have a responsibility towards each other. And we have a responsibility in the sense. Okay, let's ask you, what do you think, what is our responsibility as a family? what we should do as a family. Stay together, okay, yeah, but that should be. But how we stay together? What should we do that we can stay together? Yes, but if I say, I trust you, is this already trust just because I say it? No. So what has to be there? Yeah, I have to be worth of trust. I have to show myself trustworthy. You can trust in me. I don't let you down, for example. And I can tell this, but only you can trust me, and I can trust you, but I can't tell you, you have to trust me. I have to show by my actions. I have to show by my behavior, basically. Right? Munirkan, what you wanted to say? Yeah, we have to love each other. We have to fill this association with love. And love again doesn't mean some funny, hippies also love each other, but they mean it in a different way, right? They want to exploit each other's. No, but in Vaishnava understanding, or actually in human understanding, love is always based on what? Yeah, we do something for each other, or we do something even better. We do something with each other. We serving together. Because service in Vaishnava understanding is like praying. Yeah, and there's this famous saying, a family what prays together stays together. Right. Yeah. So therefore we have this Sankirtan movement. Sankirtan means we do kirtan together. And kirtan together doesn't mean only, although it's a very central point in our philosophy, in our daily practice, that we sit together or walk together and sing and chant. That's for sure the basis. But kirtan means also we come together and, for example, what? What we do right now? We come together and read together. We hear about Krishna. We hear about the topics, right? And what else? When we read. What we read in the scriptures, what we should do. Yes, and how we glorify Krishna. Yeah, but what is another way of kirtan? Instructions of what? What the Bhagavatam tells us, what we should do. What is the basis of our society? Yeah, but we pray together, we sing together, and then we do what? Huh? We serve together Krishna. Yeah, we serve together. We do this together. There's some sense of togetherness in all aspects. There are not just the kirtan movement. We have this out there. We have kirtan movements. It's quite popular nowadays. Maybe it's even outdated again. I don't know. But you have many people. They like kirtan. They're coming there. They're sitting there and listen to somebody who professional sings kirtan. They sing all kinds of, even Mahamantra, all kinds of names of Krishna, of names of Durga, whatever. And this is called kirtan. And they're sitting there and listening. It's going on. And it's not that there's no benefit. It's like Prabhupada warning us we should not go to professional reciters of the Srimad Bhagavatam. right? Because there maybe is a benefit in one sense that we listen to it, but it's not that we come together and sing together and serve together. It's an interaction, right? There is not, we just not sitting there and listening to some band, some bhajan band, and in the end we clapping hands and we go home. No, if we really want to have the real benefit, then we have to merge in. Or as Prabhupada said, you cannot just leave the jar of honey closed and lick on the jar. It's like sitting in a kirtan and listening, oh, nice performance. Oh, this tabla player, very expert. Right? Very expert tabla player. No, you have to really chant, you have to chant along. Or when you come for the Sunday feast, you come there, you listen to the lecture, and you stand in kirtan, you stand in the back and see, oh, they're dancing quite wild, but where's the food? Where's the prasadam? And you eat even prasadam. There's some benefit, but it's not real taste. You never get ecstasy out of it. If you want to have the real taste, you have to dive in. You have to open the jar of honey and dive into honey. And this is, of course, when we come together. We sing together and we serve together. And in this way, we create a loving, trustworthy community. And this is where we have to come to. We know so many philosophy. Whatever I tell you, I think you hear it at least 10,000 times. It's nothing new. We knew the philosophy. We're quite expert. What we don't know is the sadachar, the behavior. Therefore, it's so important when we get initiation, when we get officially the Maha Mantra handed down with our beads, Bashar. Prabhupada always, and it's still followed till today, there is a lecture beforehand, and what this lecture contains. Yeah, basically that we have to take care of the 10 offenses. And these 10 offenses, basically, it's mostly about behavior. To not criticize, not making offense against devotees, that's actually human behavior. It's not rocket science. This has nothing to do with Krishna consciousness. Not at all. But it's so important that we develop our Krishna consciousness. Not making offenses, not being critical towards other devotees, maybe seeing their shortcomings, but not reacting on them, unless you have to, unless you are a guru or you have to correct somebody, kind of tolerating it and praying, not only for myself that I can tolerate this other person, but also praying for this other person to overcome their difficulties, what we see, what we maybe point out, or what we may be aware of. We have to be well-wishers. That's the foundation of a family, that we are well-wishers towards each other. There may be an uncle who is a little bit not so nice. In my family, when I was small, I had a big family. Now I only have my parents and some uncle and auntie. But I had a big family with many uncles, many grandfathers and so forth. And of some of them I was scared. As kids. Yeah, I was basically I was scared of people with glasses. Because they always look so serious, when somebody looks through you through glasses. I always became scared of people with glasses. Some elderly people, they are a little bit rough or harsh, or there was one from my Tante Erika. She's still alive. She's 99. Next February she hits the 100. I hope she was here. She was here for our wedding. We call her every Thursday, Tante Erika. And her husband, Kurt, he's already gone long time ago, but he had always a red hat, white hair, and he had like a head like this, and when he spoke, it was his nature. But actually he was a very caring, loving father and husband. But, for me, he was kind of an uncle, and I was always, get away from him. He's sitting there, he spoke like that. So, whatever, there's maybe in the family somebody you maybe not so close with, you maybe even scared, you even maybe don't really like him. But if there's difficulty for this person, the whole family stands up for him, including yourself, right? And this is what we have to learn. This is what we have to do in our Sangha as ISKCON or whatever, as our Vaishnava Sangha. We maybe don't have to name it, but whatever it is, this is what Prabhupada gave us. He gave us this family. So we have to fill this family with trust, love, and that we stand up for each other. And everything else, who changed the books into what, is secondary. We can speak about this, but in a very respectful way. Where the jiva comes from, it's not our main concern as a family. Our main concern of a family is to make the family bigger, to expand the family. And it's not only that we go out and preach. I preach you into my belief. Or I use the sword to come in our family. I use some kind of trick, some technique to pull you in. No, the real preaching is you live it and you give it. If people comes through this door and they're seeing people who crawling with each other and don't trust each other, they feel it. It's hanging in the air for sure. They turn around, they maybe look and think, oh, nice structure. It looked like a farm building, but actually it's an Indian temple. Okay, get out of here. But if they feel here's the vibration, people are empowered by love and trust, and they're staying strong, they're staying together. Whatever they do together as a community. They sing together. They come in the morning at 4:30 and sing together. That's quite something. Who does that? Right? If a boss would say, okay, we start at 6 o'clock our company and we all come and sing first together, most people would say, no. Why should glorify the Knaus? They all come together and say, Heil Knaus, Heil Knaus. We build wagons, we build caravans. No. Tasteless, right? But they come together and sing for Krishna. And the singing is how to say, powered by love. We come here because we love Nrsingadev. We love Krishna. And Krishna knows that. And therefore, it's never a tasteless thing when you come for Mangalarti. You will be always rewarded with some deep spiritual spark, what is lighting up in your heart. That's the blessing of Mangalarti, coming from Mangalarti. Don't miss this spark. I always, when I'm not, I'm mostly there, sometimes, but sometimes I have to take extra rest, right? But I feel this day when I didn't went for morning program, it's a day. Somehow some taste is missing. But when I come from Mangalarti, this day it's already done. It's made already. It's auspicious. Therefore, it's a Mangala Arti, right? So, and the more we come together, then the more powerful it is. Because we see the love and the devotion of the other peoples as well. So this is what makes us as a family strong. that even if there's difficulties, like we see here in the family of Sati, then we should be able to bear this. We should be able to go through this and become stronger, become more wise as a family, and in this way become a community where the society at large can look at and learn from it. By their spiritual practice, by their personal practice, and even by their practical practice. You know, if some farmers come to our field, they can already learn something from our experienced farmers. Right? So yeah, that's my thought on this day. I know I'm far away myself to be a worthy member of this Vaishnava family, and therefore I'm asking you for your blessings that I can maybe one day become a worthy member of this family and live my life for, for your pleasure, for your, that you're happy with me. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananda Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Some reflections on this.
Krishna Gopinath.
Thank you for the micro.
It's very nice to hear. I was wondering if other persons speak strongly to us or harshly, where we may get affected. As you were explaining, it's more, or the verse was telling us, that it's more painful than arrows. So how to respond in that situation?
The English word respond, as you said, respond, comes from responsibility. The ability to respond, meaning you in control of your respond. Are you able, the ability to respond to a situation? When we are influenced by the modes of nature, we're not able to respond because modes of nature just pushing us to respond, either angry or sad or hurt. You know, we cannot really control it, but the more we come in higher modes, we are able to respond, to make a clear decision how I'm gonna respond to this. Right? That means, especially, that we reflect, that we become reflective. We can only become reflective in the mode of goodness, because in the mode of passion we immediately respond without ability. We immediately push to a special action. And when we in Tamagun, we are not able at all to understand anything. And basically, Rajagun pushes us in Tamagun in such a way. There are many ways. It's hard to give a one clear formula, like one should act like this and that. I think it's always good to reflect on things, what happened. Do not respond immediately. This is something what I train myself, or what I have to train myself, not to immediately jump and make a move. Of course, in material life we trained like that. You immediately have to give back. You have to push it out. Even with words, you have to be more smart. You have to be more clever. Than the other one. Somebody is challenging you, so you're challenging back. There was a time in my life I did this kind of a sport. To be more smart. Oh, I got him. Somebody challenges you. You challenge back, and then you till you finally on top of him. right? But that's not how it should be. So better is to reflect about the situation and also see where this other person comes from. And this sometimes is very, very difficult. I remember once a class or example Sachinanda Swami gave. He gave this example. There was a bus full of people, and a man with 2 children came in. And they're sitting down, and everybody was quiet in the bus. And then suddenly, these 2 children started to yell and scream and really crying, and everybody was like, on the why this man, he doesn't take care of the children, why, what's happening, probably, can you bring your children to order and whatever, and then finally the driver stopped the bus and came out of his driving seat and approached the father and said, can you not take care of your children, that they're quiet, everybody is disturbed? And this man said, I'm very sorry, we just came from the hospital, and these 2 children just experienced their mother died. And everybody was like, shh. Such a heavy, grave situation. Even now, imagine this, you feel the gravity of this. So, we always have to see, okay, it's not about me only. It's also about the other person, and what this other person where this other person come from. And so sometimes we can understand, it's not so easy for this person to react in a certain way. Doesn't mean we have to tolerate everything, at once. If there is, especially when we are in a position always comes with responsibility, right? If you're in a position as a temple commander or as a guide in some sense, you have the responsibility to handle these other people carefully. But doesn't mean you should not tell them in a certain situation what to do or what not to do. Like, we are parents, we have to take care of our children, but sometimes we have to use harsh, heavy words to cut through the childish tamagun, that they understand, I should not go over the street when cars are coming, So therefore, it's not a simple thing to just say how to respond if there's harsh words, but we have to see where this person's coming from. Maybe a person comes from the military and he only can speak, he only can command. That's all what he learned. And now he comes to the temple. There are many, in Prabhupada's times, there were people from the Vietnam War. They became devotees. This, it was a little bit difficult sometimes for the people around them, because they were used to command, and whatever, and be heavy and raw, we go and book this, whatever, and people were more sensitive. There was like, I can't tolerate them, they just running over me with their commands and whatever, So, but when you understand this person comes from a traumatic trauma of being in war situation, being in fighting situations, they had to, really run for their life, and his command was maybe saving other people's lives because he had to command them, and he's just, and he experienced this in a life-threatening situations, not for him only, but for his company. He only can, that's how he, in stressful situations, this trauma drives him just to react like that. Then you see it from a different angle, right? And then it doesn't mean you take everything in and you think, oh, this Prabhu is right, and yeah, I should be like that. But you reflect and think, okay, he acted like that. I don't have to take it personally. You know, it doesn't mean he doesn't like me. It's just the way how he is trained to behave by himself or by others. I think that's the main thing, to think of things when somebody says something to us, not immediately, or to reflect where this person is coming from, and do I have to take it in? Do I have to take it personally? You know, do I have to take it on board? There's the saying, a ship doesn't sink by the amount of water what is around the ship, but by the amount of water what is in the ship, what is much less, but it sinks, right? So one has to really discriminate, do I have to take on board? Is he really attacking me? Or is he just biting around himself because that is how he's trained? Yeah, I think consideration is a good, it's the core of what I want to say. Does it help?
It's a very nice answer, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah. I know there could be many things, but anyway, we over time. And thank you for listening to the class. And please tolerate my inability to always respond in a responsible way, especially to my wife. She didn't hear what I'm saying, but it's good. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Phalat Lakshmi Singhadev ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Srila Gurudev ki